Welcome to another episode of Waves of Wisdom. In this episode, I'm going to talk to someone who has acquired years of wisdom and knowledge in the area of NLP. She's an NLP master trainer and a speaker on proactivity. She's a global speaker all the way from India. We are recording this episode here in Maldives. Welcome to the show, Bharti.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Iyaz.
Bharti, just to start with our conversation, can you tell us a bit about your passion and how you found it?
Wonderful. I think this is the question that is very close to my heart. And probably you are the first person asking me about how did I find my passion. I would say it all started way back in 2007 when I was working in a company and there was a contest for finding local trainers because that project was acquired by TC and they were looking for local trainers. So a lot of my colleagues, they applied for that. I was not so keen because I was already into market research, doing my work. Somehow my co-worker, my friend, she gave my name and the list went to the HR and the HR announced it. And that's how I was there in the list. So it was the day of the contest. And the condition was you need to only speak for 5 minutes. Speak on any topic that you want. Now, I was not very keen on this. So I went to the HR, said, I don't want to go for this. And I said, what am I going to speak on that 5 minutes? But the HR said the names has gone. The judges are all here. So why don't you just finish it off? So the first day, we all were completely anxious and waiting to see what is going to happen. So this was like a conference room. A completely transparent glass conference room. There were 4 judges. One was the global HR head, came from Mumbai. Another one was the process head from Chennai. The third one was another strategic head from Noida. And there was this HR head from Baroda. They all 4 were there. Everybody, all the other contestants had prepared, planned, made like 20 slides, 18 slides, 15 slides. When they went inside, in 5 minutes, they were like out. And we could see that they had only displayed that the first, the first slide.
Okay.
And they didn't get the chance to speak or say anything. And they were all furious that what is it? We prepared so much and we never got the chance.
Yeah.
The HR head came back saying that you were given 5 minutes, you didn't speak. So this is what it is. Now, obviously, this all was giving me more anxiety because one, I was not ready. Second, I was not sure what to speak on. So the next day, I sat with my family, with my husband, with my sister. I said, I don't know what to speak on. Today is my day. I need to speak in front of these judges. So they said, just speak whatever is close to your heart, something that you can, even in your sleep, can blabber about it. So there was this one theory which I had learned in my master's, the theory of multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. And very beautifully, Dr. Howard Gardner talks about 8 intelligences that we have. And every human being has those 8 intelligences, but there's always one intelligence that supersedes the other. So it was very fascinating theory of human development. And that is where I said, okay, this is something that I have learned, read it a lot. So let me go and just speak about it. So what I did was I made the first slide with the title. Second slide, I went to Google and I downloaded a picture of 8 intelligences. So it was like a pie chart. So I said, this is perfect. I just downloaded that image, put it as a second slide. Third slide was a thank you slide. So I only made 3 slides. I said, that's it. I don't want to speak more. I'll just finish off in 5 minutes and come out. That was my intention. I went inside. I started with the title, Theory of Multiple Intelligences by Dr. Howard Gardner. And the first judge said, okay, wait, you talking about multiple intelligences. Tell me what is intelligence according to you. Now, this was not the question that was expected. So I remember what my mentor used to tell me, that if you don't know the answer, in a cricket, what we do is we deflect the ball. So I did the same. I said, that's a fantastic question. Let's hear it from other judges. What is intelligence according to them? And I deflected the question to the other 3 judges. And it became like an interactive 5 minutes. I explained them what 8 intelligences is, and that was it. I immediately pressed thank you. It was like a sigh of relief that, okay, I finished it. And I said, okay, this is what my presentation is. And one of the judges was, you don't want to say anything else? I said, no, this is it. I went out. I said, it's done. I'm like, okay now. And I don't know what happened.
You got over with it.
I just wanted to get over with
Yes.
this. So I don't know what happened, but after 20 minutes, the HR head, our local HR head, he came and he said, Bharti, they want to talk to you. I said, what did I do? He said, I don't know. The judges want to talk to you. So I was again a little bit in that anxiety mode. I said, now what? Did I press the wrong button? Did I tap their ego? I don't know what I did. So I went inside and they asked me to sit. So they all four were sitting on this side of the conference table. I was sitting on the other side. It was like a long table. And here what the global HR head said. He said, have you thought about moving into learning and development space? I said, no.
So what were you doing back then?
So back then I was into market research. I was into operations. I was handling the European market and doing the market research for the products and analyzing the market trends. That's what I was doing. And that is where this global HR head comes and tells me that, okay, here's what we are going to do. Go back to your family, come with a yes answer. Once you say yes, it will take 1 week for us, and then we will start with the deputation process. And then you'll be deputed to our Mumbai Vikhroli office for 3 months. You'll be put up into a competency team, and from there you'll be put up into learning and development. And we'll train you to become our in-house trainer as in-house learning and development professional. And I had no idea what is happening. I was just nodding and I said, is this all good? And I said, okay. He said, then okay, now go. So this interaction happened. I came outside the conference room. I called my husband. I said, what is deputation? What is this learning and development? He said, what happened? So I told him everything. He said, just go inside and say yes. I said, but I don't know what it is. I need to be there. I need to go and work in Mumbai, leaving you and my daughter. How is everything going to happen? He said, we will figure out, we'll manage. Just go and say yes. I said, I'm not going to say yes. I went home, I figured out things, and after the second day, I came and I said yes. But the point I'm making is, we don't choose our path. The path chooses us.
Beautiful, yes.
And that's what happened in my life. That 5 minutes of presentation changed the entire trajectory of my career. Completely changed. From being into operations, handling market research, putting me into the learning and development, taking care of the competency mapping, competency assessments, everything changed. And here I was the next month in Mumbai with hundreds of HR professionals with learning and development team, working with them, understanding what it is and how to deliver, how to create that experience, how to influence people, how to create that impact in the conference room when the trainings happen. That's how my journey in learning and development began. And since then, when I started talking, when I started delivering workshops, programs, that is where it became a passion, because I could then observe people that when I say something or when I make them do something or when I create a learning environment, there is some change that is happening maybe in their behavior, maybe in their thought process, maybe in fact their emotions change. The way they see the life changes. And that became my passion. So I always tell to myself that I never chose this. I never chose this. It was always meant to be. And it just came to me.
Wow, that is fantastic, isn't it? A lot of people don't see it that way, although I think that is the reality. Even personally with me, I think this journey has just chosen me. Yeah. People, if you knew me like 20 years back, I was a typical accountant working in front of a computer. So, it's a quite a shift. So it is, I think this also resonates with how you must have been brought up, or what you were doing at your childhood. What were you passionate about in your teens and when you were growing up?
Okay, so as a child or maybe as a teenager, I was passionate and was more fascinated with the biological body that we have. Very curious to understand that what happens inside. Yes, I was a science student.
I think that is something we are in.
Oh,
because
lovely.
I was so interested, though I also took biology.
Lovely. So I was a science student and I wanted to become a surgeon, wanted to open the body to see what is happening, how the organs work, how the systems work. So it was my curiosity that drove me to study science and pick up science in my 11th and 12th as well. That was what I was passionate about, but the life took a very different turn in my...
Is it because in India you have parents force their children either to become a doctor or a engineer?
Yes, because I'm talking about way back in 1990s, where this was where either you're a doctor, you're an engineer, or you are a chartered accountant, or you have these kind of
emergence
professions.
of IT was
Yes.
drama.
Oh, it was very, very faded. IT was not that much there as a profession. So yes, this was one of the reasons. I really wanted to do that, but the life took a very different turn it turned in a way that I was not even thinking about it. At a very young age, I got married and had to leave everything and move out of the city, leave my graduation midway and be there. So I was not even a graduate when I had to step out of that relationship. But I was a very young mother. At the age of 20, I was blessed with a baby girl. So this happened at an age where all the girls and boys, they are thinking about their career, or they're just having that nice enjoying their time in the college. And here I was with a baby, married completely in a very conservative family. But yes, it took me 6 long years to actually figure out what is it that I want and how this is going to affect me and my daughter. And it took a very painful decision for me to step out of that relationship, come back to my parents' house. So that was in 2002 when I came back. Not a very good way to look at the life, because I was absolutely at the rock bottom where I was depressed for a couple of months. I didn't know what to do. I had to fight for it was a legal battle for 2.5 years.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
But when you look back now,
Yeah.
don't you think that all those events happen for as preparation for what you are today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would totally agree with this, because unless and until you go through certain experiences in your life to be closer to the pain that you have gone through, you will not understand other people.
Yeah.
You will not be able to help them. And I think that the pain that I went through over these 6 years made me realize that how much important the relationships are, how much important our own self is, and how to actually navigate through the life. All these lessons that I now look back comes from that space that I went through. So after that, I took my career slowly and gradually. It was like picking up the pieces. They were all scattered. Started my graduation again, went to the college, did my master's, then went through the corporate line.
I would say it's very brave of you to go through all those and then come back and then study and go to the college. And it's really brave. And I think a lot of people don't see life like that, right? Some people get fed up and they don't want to even go back into a relationship because of this kind of things happens. Since now you are an NLP trainer and everything, actually, why does that happen?
So I would say NLP again came into my life at a very, very significant stage where I wanted to help my daughter. She was going through a lot of counseling sessions, and obviously the poor child, she witnessed a lot of things she was not supposed to witness at a young age. So it had really left her a lot of emotional marks. So she was going through counseling and all, we were like figuring out. So I somehow took charge of it and I said, okay, let me learn NLP and maybe I can help her. So that's how I started diving deep into NLP.
Did you know about NLP before that?
Again, a very interesting conversation I had. So in 2011, I was conducting a training program with Aditya Birla Insulators. And it was during lunchtime that one of the participants, he came and he said, ma'am, you are so good at communication. You teach us such beautifully. It just puts right into our head. We understand it so easily. Why don't you learn NLP? It will really help you.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I learned about NLP. And like any other person, I went to Google. There was no AI that time. So I went to Google and started looking for videos on NLP, articles. And that's how I started understanding NLP. But the one thing I failed back then was I thought I knew what NLP is. But NLP is not something that you can know. NLP is something that you can experience. So it was only after a couple of years that I understood that, okay, it's like a skill. It's like swimming or bicycling. Unless and until you go through that experience, you would not understand how to pedal, how to swim, how to hold your breath in water, and how to go deep in the ocean. So it's a different skill altogether. So that's how I started my journey with NLP. So the first day when I started learning NLP in the classroom, it was like a love at first sight. I'm still so fascinated about NLP. And I realized that this is not something that I can just learn and help others. If I have to help others, if I really want to bring that meaningful change in others' life, I need to go through this experience. So I surrendered myself completely to NLP, and I went through a lot of experiential learning for myself. And over this journey, I realized that even I was carrying a lot of emotional baggages. I was carrying a lot of limiting beliefs. I was having those kind of identity issues that I had because of my past relationship. I had to remove this. It was like, unless and until you clean your house, how would you invite others to see how it is? So this has all happened with NLP, and since then I'm practicing teaching NLP to so many of them.
Bharti, amazing story you have. Just for our viewers and listeners, people who are hearing for the first time, in a nutshell, what is NLP?
Okay. So NLP, 3 words, neuro-linguistic and programming. It basically helps you to understand how you think, how you choose your words to express. It could be expressing or talking, communicating with yourself. It could be with others as well. And the programming refers to the ways that you do things, your habits, your decisions, your actions. Everything that is programmed since your childhood. Have you ever looked back and realized how you are actually doing things and why do you do it? So it goes back to the smallest, I would say, it goes back to the bricks where the castle has been built, and then you start making changes in those bricks, and that's how the new pattern arrives. So that's NLP.
So ever since then, you have been teaching NLP, and so I think that has actually evolved into finding your purpose, maybe.
Yes, it did.
So as if today, if somebody asks, what is your purpose in life, what would you say?
My purpose in life is to serve people, advocate proactivity. That is something which is very, very close to my heart. I'll tell you why it is so close to my heart. So advocate proactive approach and leave a legacy behind, because this is something which, when I think about, say, my daughters and their children, what is it that they will learn when they come in this world? What is it that we are leaving for them? Are we leaving something good, or is it just the name that we have? So that's the purpose of my life. So I'm driven by a very higher purpose, where the first thing that I realized was to help a lot of women folks, help a lot of people who have certain limitations in their understanding about themselves, understanding about the ways they are doing things, and that is stopping them. And that is where I took this as my mission, that I will design something that will help them. And hence I designed the Proactivity Blueprint that helps a lot of people. In fact, I launched this during COVID times. It was like a experiment that I did.
I think that's the perfect time. Everybody was 80% of the world is going through some level of trauma, some level of depression, anxiety, and unsureness.
Yeah.
So how the things have turned around ever since you have launched this principle and then you have started teaching them about it, how it has helped you to build a career. You are still a trainer, speaker, and a coach, right? So how that has helped you in that journey?
So when I started my independent work, I was more into corporate trainings. Gradually, I transitioned myself into the coaching, which I realized that it is a very, very personal, individual coaching that helps people to transform. And that is where I shifted my approach towards coaching. Proactivity, I would say I myself was a bug of procrastination, where I would procrastinate on every small things or a big things that I would do, not realizing how procrastination is eating myself in reality. So I really call procrastination as a termite. It eats you up from inside, but we don't realize it.
Is proactiveness the opposite of procrastination?
Yeah, I would say it is an antidote to procrastination. So this is a possible solution that you can have. You who will procrastinate in your life in some areas or the other, whether it could be health, whether it is your career, whether it is your work, some way or the other you procrastinate. And we think that it is okay to say no. It is okay to put it for tomorrow or delay it. But the moment we do that, we are signaling our brain that this is fine with my master. Let me do this more. So that's a signal you every time send it to the brain.
So basically, you program your brain.
Exactly. We are actually unknowingly, unconsciously programming our brain for this pattern. So it was much ingrained inside me and I didn't realize it. I started making mistakes in business, started losing a couple of projects because of this, lost a very good opportunity to be at a fantastic platform for speaking. So when 2-3 such incidences happened, I had to pause myself and say, hello, what is happening? And the major hit I got was from my doctor. So I was procrastinating going to a doctor. So it was like 1.5 years. And I was facing these issues every month. And my husband would tell me that go and see a doctor. I would say I'll go it next month. That's what everybody says. So there came a point where my body just couldn't take it. So we went to a doctor. She immediately looked at me and she said, go for these tests, go for sonography and get me the reports ASAP. And I was like, what is it? She said, you need to go and do this. So 24 hours, got the reports in my hand. Now I'm really anxious. I'm sitting at the edge of the chair, wondering what the doctor is going to tell me. She looked at the report. She saw that there was a big fibroid inside, which will need an operation. And the one thing that she mentioned was, Bharti, you procrastinated, but your fibroid inside you was not.
It was proactive.
It was growing. It was growing.
Yes.
And that hit me very hard.
You came over it.
So I had to go through that painful surgery. I had to remove that fibroid and then take that little bit of rest till the health is fine.
So
Since
are you
then,
okay now?
absolutely. I'm talking about 2019. But then since then, I said nothing doing. I need to first work with myself to get rid of this pattern of procrastination. So that's how it became my mission to first work with myself, which I did. And then I thought if I can help myself, and this is like a blueprint that I was able to draw, I said, why not extend this to somebody and see if this works for them? So I did a pilot with 10 of my friends and I asked their commitment. I said, if you're up for this, I can run this program and let's see if that works for you. So they were kind enough to come, but of course, you don't do anything for free. Yes. I asked the commitment of money because unless and until you put money, you don't become serious.
Committed.
You're not committed. I don't know, but this is something that's wired inside us. So they did pay a small amount, but that was not important. The important was they go through the program, they break the patterns of procrastination and become proactive.
Yeah.
So I had 9 of them in the pilot. 2 ran away. They didn't do it. They were procrastinating. So there were 7 of them. Out of 7, 6 got results. Fantastic results. And I was happy to see that if this pattern they're able to break and they become proactive in their approach, however small, but there's a beginning, it is a good thing. And that is how in 2020, I launched this in a big way, had some 138 participants in my program, and they went through this procrastination breakthrough. So earlier, I was putting this as a procrastination breakthrough. Later, I made it a change and I said, let's call this as the Proactivity Blueprint Program because people like to be referred as the solution-oriented approach. So the antidote to procrastination is proactivity, where you go beyond the productivity, go beyond the productive elements that you look at. You may be productive. There's no choice that you have. You have to be productive. Because that's a demand that you have. That's a work that you are doing. So whether you like it, you not like it, you are reactive, you're not reactive, but you are productive. But proactivity is what leads to the fulfillment. It what leads to the joy that you get. And it also removes the stress from you. So if you are proactive, you can lead your life and become the master of it in a much better way. So hence the proactivity.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept. And I think you are right, because all the innovators, inventors, entrepreneurs, they all are proactive.
Yeah.
If they are not proactive, they couldn't have launched the first product. They couldn't have created the
Very true.
first of its kind of products, right?
Yeah.
So I think if we really look at the successful people, you're very right. Success is not only doing routine things successfully, but also making a bigger impact, right? And you touch base on something which is, which you said, it can be less stressful to be proactive than not, but sometimes it can be also stress, right? Because you have to think outside the box. You have to be, once you have something to do, you have to really force yourself. And a lot of people find it difficult to force themselves to act, right? And act and proactively do something. Why is that?
Okay. One, it is, I would look at it this way. It's not out of the box thinking. In fact, it is, you find the box first. Do you know there's a box? How does that box look like?
Yeah.
What is the shape? What is the size? What are the dimensions of the box? So once you know, okay, this is how my box is, then is the box working for you? If it's not working, which elements do I need to change so that the box starts working for me? So that's what the proactivity means. Now, when you start changing a very small part of it, that is where the shift starts happening. Like, for example, there's a way that you brush your teeth every day.
Yes.
You don't think. In fact, you're in a half sleep, but you still know how to brush your teeth. Now, suddenly, if there is an issue, this is why you're programmed that way. When you were a child, your parent would have forced you to brush in a certain way. You may like it, you may not like it. But over the years, you said, okay, let me pick it up and do it on my own. That's a pattern that you developed.
Yeah.
Now you don't think, you just do it. Because that pattern is so much ingrained in you. Now, suddenly, if you have to change the way you brush, you need to be conscious. You need to be aware. Now, when you will be aware, with two things. Either you have a pain. So suppose you have a pain in one side. Then you consciously will change the pattern of brushing your teeth. So the awareness has to come in. So either it will come through pain or it will come through your choice. Do I need to make this choice so that my life becomes better? So when you make that choice, that is where the pattern will change. So yes, some people find it difficult to act, to make that changes, because they don't know whether they are doing it for the pain or they are doing it for that pleasure. So once they realize that there is a pain that I'm going through, the pain that I went through, because the pain was so much, I changed. Now, some people may be driven by that pain, some may be driven by the pleasure. We want our life to be better, hence we will be aware to make that changes. So the changes are not big things. The outcome is big. Changes are the small, tiny elements that you change. And that's how it creates an impact.
Yeah, that's I think a powerful perspective in looking at how you can be more proactive and active. Yeah, you look at, I think a lot of people are chasing pleasure, especially at this age with the new generation, and they are very, very fast in.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at what pleasures to them and what is pain and what is not. They used to avoid.
Yeah.
If something is not pleasure. I think that's what I have observed. They don't want to go through the pain like people of our generation and our parents' generation has gone through, because they had like everything on their fingertips, right?
Absolutely.
What you are teaching will help. You said it all started with also helping your daughter. For the next generation, how your work will help them to become better at whatever they are going to do in the future.
Okay, that's another interesting question, Iyaz. You're throwing questions like, okay. So my younger daughter, she's of this generation, and I see a huge difference in the generations, because my elder daughter, she was in Nice when she was born. So that generation, very differently, I raised her up. Now this generation, for them, everything is given. It's like basics. So the lifestyle that they get is the bare minimum. So
they will expect.
The first thing is they expect. The second is, this is given, this is basics. Don't tell me. So a simple example is like in India, if you want to travel by train, you have certain categories of ticketing. You go through the AC compartments. In AC, you have 3 categories, or you go through the general compartment where there are no AC. Now, as a child, I have always gone through the non-AC compartments because that's how my father would afford us. We were happy. We never went through the
AC compartment.
Never. never even looked at that compartment. We were very happy because we get to travel.
In early 2000, I had a trip from Trivandrum to Bangalore on train. Even I was not aware at that time there are courts. When I went to the station, I upgraded myself.
Now, when my elder daughter came in, again, it was a similar situation. We sometimes would go to the non-AC compartments and travel. She was fine the way you put the child in an environment and the child is raised. Sometimes little later we went through the AC, but it was not very often. With this, my younger daughter, there is no other option. It is given that we will be going in the AC compartment only.
Is it because she also realized that now you can afford it?
So the lifestyle.
So if you can afford it, why not?
Why not? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. This is the lifestyle that they are being raised up. So for them, this is basics. There's no compromise. This is like, okay, this is the basics that we need. So now what they look for, they are going back to the roots. They don't look for the basics that we or our parents used to look for. They are looking for the purpose. They look for whether they are encouraged at work, whether they are valued, whether they have the right to say things. Can they voice out? Is their voice being heard? In fact, it's the same in the school or colleges as well. If the child is not valued in the school, they don't like it. If the child is not being given the space that the child has been given, they don't like it. So the entire shift has happened where it is not why they work for money. Of course, money comes, but for them, money is the basic that will give them the necessities to maintain a lifestyle. What's important for them, and that's why they shift to companies or they shift to different careers. Are they valued enough? Is it lining to their passion or the interest that they want? Is it going to is it driving them that what they want to do? And is it being valued for them? These are the 3 to 4 things that they look for. If it's missing, they don't do it. If it's there, they continue. So raising this generation is very different. Now, when I look at proactivity, I look at it from this angle for this generation. That is this creating a pattern for them, which is providing them the value, which is encouraging them to look at their purpose, which is helping them to find out their interest. So what is it that they are doing in their life that will help them?
I think this is, So as parents of next generation, what is the thinking pattern or how we should think in line with proactivity and NLP? How should we think to ensure that they are proactive, they embraces what is coming ahead? For example, AI is already here.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it is coming, it is already here and daily we are using it now. So how important that is. And so what is the simple techniques like daily we can practice with our children?
The first thing that I realized, if I have to raise my younger daughter, I can't raise the way I raised my elder one.
Okay.
The first change
first one is the realization that this generation is different and we have to raise them in a different way.
Yes. So the first change that I made was I started giving her choices and let her decide. She's the decision maker of her life. So I put her into the center. I valued her, respected her choice. And I gave her that kind of guided environment. And I said, this is the choice you have. Now you choose it. So I realized if I start imposing things, if I start saying this is not it is, this is how it is, they will not like it. They'll say, no, where is me in this? They are independent thinkers. So if I have to make her independent thinker, I need to give her the choice. Let her choose what she wants to do. The second change that I did was I started entering into her inner world. Now, it's very simple. This is my inner world. I come with different experiences, with different life that I've lived. She won't understand that. She's being raised in a different setting, not just raised by me, but raised by teachers, school environment, elders, YouTube, complete plethora of information. It's like overloaded. I mean, she'll come and tell me things that I didn't know. And I said, okay, which Instagram reel did you watch? And she'll laugh. Oh, I watched this Instagram reel. So there's so much of information that you can't stop. So I realized that I need to step into her world to understand.
Till you step into her world.
Okay.
This is something quite difficult for me.
So she likes gaming. She plays games on virtual reality and different platforms. So the first thing I did was I started sitting with her to understand what is this gaming and how does it work. I may not like it personally. I may have my own inhibitions and thoughts about it, but I had to keep it to myself because I'm entering into her world. And sometimes I would sit with her to watch certain reels to understand what kind of reels she goes through. Sometimes listening to her blabber and talking, whatever she's talking about, her friends, her teachers, to understand the perspectives, to understand what are the thought process that she's going through. So it's like literally stepping into her world to understand her better.
I think I have been speaking with some of parents here, as well as some of my friends who has kids at this age as well. Because I also have a daughter. My two daughters are from the Gen Alpha, right? One of the things most parents say is even to connect with them, like maybe you are very close with her, or you have the NLP techniques to get it from her. But for most of the parents, it's quite difficult. From what they share with me, is actually to even understand that, to get their perspective out from their mouth. What can they do?
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I can totally understand this because my husband faces the same. First thing is let them learn NLP. Because yes, NLP is helping me a lot because I keep using a lot of NLP concepts, techniques, tools to build that rapport, build that connection. It's not a one day's job. It is not. It is a constant.
One thing normally people can do to open them up.
Okay. So many times if she's doing something all by herself, I would not go and just barge into her environment, or I will not ask her, what are you doing? So one, I keep my voice in control. I become like a curious child and I sit beside her and I just do my work. So it's like, it's like matching the physiology. If she is writing something or doing something, I will just go and sit and do something.
Don't disturb her.
I don't disturb her because it's her environment. So the moment she'll pause and she said, what? I said, no, I'm just sitting here. And that is how then say, you do your work, I do my work. So that's the first connection that you're building. So the connection is not physical. It is more about entering into her space. And then gradually you start talking. So when you start talking, you start matching their words. What kind of words, the lingos that they use. Start telling those words sometimes, using it in your language. And then she laughs it out and she says, oh, you're using our lingo. I said, yeah, why not? So that's in a subtle way, you start connecting rapport with this generation and then stepping into it. So they will not allow you to enter so easily. They will take their time. They will evaluate. They will analyze you. They'll scan you. Are you like a parent sneaking inside, or are you really as a friend sneaking here? So they will test you that way. But yes, it's a constant connection that I build even today. So I would say
this is something a lot of people are not aware.
Yeah.
So to really help.
And of course, it is a very much requirement because they are exposed to the digital world so much that it is a need for parents to actually peep into their children and see what they are doing.
I think there are a lot of parents are concerned because they don't even know their world anymore. Yeah? Even though they live in the same house.
Yes, very true.
I think this has been really powerful and helpful. Thanks for sharing that. I know you get paid a lot to speak about these things, and you're giving free for my audience. And
Not at all. It's a pleasure.
All this needs this. Maybe I will think about how we can spread this more. And because a lot of friends at my age and even the generation after us, they share these grievances sometimes. So how that purpose of actually helping other people to become more proactive has, how you keep passionate, because having a purpose is one thing.
Yeah.
But keep the passion alive in doing it is something different, right? How do you do that?
I think I would say the fire in my belly, which is still there, it's ignited, is because of the pain that I went through.
Okay.
And whenever I think about pausing or think about stopping or giving it up, I go back to that same Bharti and realize, okay, where I have come from and why did I drive this? Why did I start this? And that is very strong in me. And that's why the passion is still there and it will continue. I'm not going to retire. I'm not going to say, okay, I hang up my boots and okay, I'm at this age now. It's not going to happen any which ways.
So this is something I have been fascinated about.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are like you have understood their purpose, and then if they have got a purpose and if they are passionate about it, a lot of them says, I'm going to do this for rest of my life.
Yeah.
And this is where I came up with this phrase or concept called unretired. So I see people like you as, if I say like unretirables,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how in your lifetime, for example, how many people you want to impact, or you want to go until your last day doing this? Do you think there can be a point of time you might turn and do something else, but still in your purpose of helping other people? Can it change over time? Because I heard that purpose sometimes changes, right?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say every purpose has it has its own shelf life.
Yeah.
If the purpose has come in your life to serve that of the audience, to serve the people, to create that impact, it will serve and it will go. Hence, the purpose changes. In my life, I remember I was sitting in one of the churches in Goa. All by myself. I was there in Goa for a program. And I asked this question to myself that why am I here? What am I actually doing? Why was I born on this earth? This was like way back in 2011, 2012. And I don't know, it was something like, having a conversation with the higher, having that kind of conversation. And I remember distinctly that he smiled and he said, "You will know it. You just keep doing." That was it. And it just kept on echoing. And I was like, okay, I will know it. When will I know it? What is it? But okay, I need to keep doing. So I keep on doing this. So I don't know the end of it, but I know I have to keep doing this. I know I have to keep going. So how many lives? I don't know. So far it's been 85,000, but I don't know how many more lives that I'll be touching them to help them.
Did you start feeling that as you go along and when you impact more people, that actually this is like calling?
Yes.
Because you have already had this conversation with your creator.
Yeah.
And then you have actually, I went through the same phase around 2017, 18. I would sit in the mosque after the prayers and start questioning, what is the purpose I'm on there?
See?
Is it something people go through during their midlife, like everyone, or?
I wouldn't say this is like a midlife thing because this calling came to me when I was very young. It's not like a midlife thing, but I would say it is.
Point of your
Yes,
life, yeah.
at certain point of your life, you go through this the kind of intuitive energy that you go through. It's purely a calling.
I think uh, if I put it this way, you're saying that everyone
Mhm.
will have a point of time when they
Yes.
question this, right?
Yes.
But again, some people are proactive in acting on it.
Yes.
Others don't do anything about it, right?
Yes.
From what you are teaching. Yeah. So why actually some people let it go, that thought, and don't take that and then foster it and make that something happen and make an impact in the world? Yeah. Like I think the more people doesn't do anything about it than the people who does.
Yeah. So we are in Maldives, and this would be a better example for everybody to understand, in fact. So we have ocean here, very beautiful ocean, different colors, transparent water sometimes. Now look at it this way. Okay, we have a lot of people in this world. Some are at the shore. They do not want to enter the water at all, but they are happy with it. They just want to be at the shore. Sometimes just enjoying the view, but sometimes they're scared of entering the water. Why they are scared? They don't know how to do it, or they don't want to do it because they don't know the skill, the knowledge to enter and find something inside. So they are still at the shore.
They are not aware of the pleasure in
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, some of them, what they do is they will enter with some amount of knowledge, some amount of experience, but they'll be floating on the surface.
Yeah.
Again, they don't have the knowledge, the skills, or the willingness to dive inside. They need a little bit of courage to go inside and see what it is.
Yeah.
Open your eyes inside and see. But they're at the surface and they're fine with it. Then there are some people, or I would say few of them, that will use the snorkeling equipment and they will go inside to look at the world which is inside the ocean. Beautiful world. When I did this for the first time, it was amazing. I never wanted to come out of it. So beautiful. So they will dive inside to look at what is the world, very different world inside. Some will be divers, very few. They will take everything that it takes to enter the ocean, dive deeply, go till the core. And there are few, those people are the blessed ones. So maybe if you have the calling, if I have the calling, some of them in the life have calling, those are the blessed ones. They have touched the core, understand the depth of the ocean, got the knowledge, skills, the willingness, the force that is driving them, and hence when they come up, they come as a changed person to impart that knowledge to everybody. That's how I get
Beautiful analogy, and I can 100% resonate with it and agree with it. Before I also learned how to swim, I never knew what is there and the pleasure of it. And now after learning it and I started enjoying it, I cannot resist going when the sea is calm and nice. And then you're right. When I did my first open water course, when I went to dive, first time I got scared. When I first eel, I wanted to come up. My instructor has to help me down. After that, after some time, I started getting comfortable, and it's really enjoyable, right? Bharti, you have been sharing a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Is the last thought which you want to leave with our audience and our listeners, some kind of wisdom which you have held on to your life until now, because this podcast is called Waves of Wisdom. I asked this question for all the guests. Is there anything like that, wisdom which you held on to your life, no matter what?
Okay. I will pick up the word unretiable from your passion. And I would say when I look at my life and the kind of experiences that I've gone through, probably I have touched the core of the ocean. And I have understood the reality of life. And that's how the life is. And probably that space is what comes from where I start sharing the knowledge, the skills, the everything that I do right now. So I don't see it stopping anywhere, because if you're driven by that, you don't stop. You keep doing it more and more. And it's like it expands. It expands so much that everybody comes under that. And that's how I look at it. So one thing that I would leave as a legacy, I have started writing letters. Write letters to my next generation, penning down everything that I have gone through, absolutely in the raw form. No AI, no editing. I'm not going to publish it, but they are going to be letters. And I'm putting those letters in an envelope, putting it in a box, so that when the generations come in, they can open those envelopes and read the stories, the examples, the cases, everything that I've done a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of funny things as well.
Why did you decide to put it in envelope and in letters rather than put it in a book?
Because those are for the next generation. I already have some things which is there for this generation, for the world, which I'm sharing it any which ways. These letters are meant for the next generation. So when I'm here or not here, that's when they will open it and they'll see. So it's something like in the world of AI, where is the human abilities? How can we find the humanness? They can find it in those letters, because that is where we'll be preserving it for them.
That is like a treasure box, which the AI cannot actually access.
Exactly.
Because it will be disconnected from the internet.
Exactly.
It's a very, very thought-provoking idea. Thank you very much, Bharti, being on my show and sharing. This has been a wonderful exchange of ideas and conversation. I would like to carry this conversation forward in the future on a different platform, on a different way, I'm sure. And I see a lot of value you could bring to our communities as well with the topics you're talking. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Iyaz. It was really a pleasure. And you put me into different thought process altogether with your questions.
Thank you.
But thank you so much.
For our viewers, this episode has been really an eye-opener in different ways. If you are a parent, if you're a student, if you are a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha, you would get high value from this episode with years of experience and knowledge Bharti has in her areas of specialty. As she has mentioned, don't forget to be authentic. Don't forget to be human. In the age of AI and everything that we are getting, what we need is, when our processes are being automated, we need to become more human. Until I come back next time, don't forget to be awesome. Thank you.